What I want us to do right now is to practice how to write an algebra equation. And so I actually took this problem off of the 6A Singapore math book on page 14. And this is an example of a problem that we've known how to do at least since the 5th grade using a bar model. But we're actually learn how that connects to writing what's called an algebra equation. Because when we know how to write these problems as algebra equations, we're able to do more and more complicated problems, to be able to solve problems easier. So the first thing I want you to do, though, is to go ahead and follow the steps we've been using to actually write or to draw a bar model for this problem. But we're not going to solve it as a bar model. So go ahead, read the problem, come up with the statement, decide what the problem is about, and write your bar model, but don't solve the problem yet. Pause the video to do that, and then check and see if you have the same thing as me. Okay, so I hope you've taken the time to do that. Here's what I've got for my statement. It's actually really easy. The question is, how many girls are there? So I would say there are girls. That's actually not too hard of a statement to come up with an answer to. So there are girls. Okay, that's what we're after. And so this is a comparison problem. We're comparing two things. We're comparing the boys and the girls. And so if we gave them each a bar, we have a good place to start. Okay, so we have a unit of boys, a unit of girls. But then let's look at the information. We actually see there's actually 6 more girls than boys. So let's actually extend the girls and say that this equals 6. There's not an equal number, so the white units here are equal, but that pink at the end shows that there's more girls. And then it gives us this information. There are 30 children all together. So if we added the boys and the girls, we would get 30 children. Okay. Now at this point you would know how to solve it, but here's what I actually want us to do. I want us to understand that these unit bars represent equal units. And as problems get more and more complicated, it's not always fun to draw them. But we can see that we can always actually give a variable to the unit. So we could say that the number of boys is the same as the number of girls if we add 6 to the girls. And so let's actually call that unit x. We could choose any letter to be our variable, but let's choose x. And if the boys' unit is x, then that girl's unit, since it's equal, it's also x. And so we've been saying in the past that we could have two units plus 6 equals 30. But now we can actually make that an algebra equation, and we can actually say the units are called x. We can now say that 2x plus 6, that is the expression for the total number of students. It's 2 times the number of boys plus 6 because there's 6 more girls than boys. And we now know that total. What do those equal when we add them together? Well, they equal 30. And then it's just like we've done in the 5th grade. As we've done 2 units plus 6 is 30. Well, we know this. The 2 units must equal 24. How do we know that? Because 24 is the number plus 6 that equals 30. It's important to remember, like we've already talked about, that 2x is actually a number. It's 2 times another factor we don't know that gives us x. So if 2x is 24, our question is going to be, what is x? Well, we know that if 2x's are 24, then x is going to be 24 divided into 2 equal parts. 24 divided by 2, which is 12. So x equals 12. Now let's pay attention to our bar model. 12 is actually the number of boys. But what does our statement say? There are blank girls. 12 is not the number of girls. The girls have 12 in their unit, in their x unit, plus there are 6 extra girls. We actually 12 plus 6. There are 18 girls. And that is how you set up an algebra equation and then solve it in 2 steps.